Hey, all wild weather here for LiveWeatherBlogs.com. A lot going on today. We had some snow, quickly changed to rain, picked up about a half inch, about 2/10 of an inch near the airport, up to an inch up in the Poconos. Everywhere pretty much switched over to rain pretty quickly. I saw some trace amounts down there in northern Delaware, but this event, the morning snow, was not very long lasting. And if you got a snow hour or 2 hour delay, consider yourself very lucky. Most areas did not, the precipitation did not get underway until sometime right before 7 o'clock, and for the people that do decisions about the schools, that's just way too late. That snow would have had to have come in between 3:30 and 4:30, and even at that point, it would have had to stay snow. So, but in any case, it's all out of here. Temperatures are on the rise, and they will continue to be under the rise. Out here in Texas, boy oh boy was it warm today. 88 degrees down here in the Rio Grande Valley, and it's very dry. Red flag warnings going 75 all the way up here into western portions of Missouri. Very, very warm for this time of the year. Something to keep an eye on going into the summer months, and maybe your heat and drought is going to be originating from here once again like it did a couple years back. Snow cover, let's take a look at that real quick. This is the latest analysis of the snow cover from handweather.com, and more or less there's not much snow cover left. And this, the cold air will come down in shots, but once it gets below this snow line here, it's going to be really hard to hold on to the cold air for too long before we start getting warming going on. And with a NAO that's going to be positive, even more so. You can see we're really void of any snow along the eastern seaboard at all. So plenty of snowpack up here in Canada. So still got chances for the cold air to build up in Canada and come south, but its long-lasting effects down here in the central part of the country over to the east coast is trivial at best. And down here in Florida, they may be off the hook coming up here for any freezes or anything, so long as there's no major winter storms. And the cold air can only get so far south before it starts modifying, and you get in the sun angle increasing, warming the ground. It's all a very vicious cycle, but anywhere south of this line where I'm going here, we'll see what happens going forward, but I'm not so sure we're going to be getting too many more cold blasts getting too far down and deep into the south, but could be wrong. We'll see what happens. Let's take a look at the current pressure analysis. Big, and I mean big, area of high pressure here off the southeast coast. We've seen that before. Very strong southwesterly flow in front of our next cold front that'll be developing, and what a cold front that'll be. Let's take a look here. Let's first go to the National Weather Service. A lot of fog, dense fog advisories. Look for these dense fog advisories to come rolling over into Pennsylvania probably tomorrow night before we start getting a lot of mixing. There's those red flag warnings I was talking about, very dry. Still got some winter weather advisories. Cold air pretty much holding on up in here. Some freezing rain and freezing drizzle still going on. But even here, the cold air will lose, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. Talking about cold air losing, cold air will lose so much, in fact, that a big general area of some thunderstorms in the green, slight risk of severe weather, and a moderate risk of severe weather for Arkansas, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Categorical is moderate. If we, sorry about that, if we go to look at the probabilistic, 45%, it's pretty high. Now that's day one. If we go to day two, severe thunderstorms may even get all the way up into West Virginia, maybe knock on the doorstep of Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. This is quite impressive for January 29th, 30th. So thunderstorms in the areas in green, and even here into Pennsylvania, we could be looking at a pretty good squall line of thunderstorms, even coming through the Philadelphia area. Something to keep an eye on. There's going to be a 70-knot jet coming across here, and if these heavy rains that are predicted by the GFS, which I'll show you in a moment, if they come true and they bring some of those winds down to the surface, 70-knot winds, you're talking 80 miles per hour. I'm not saying that 80-mile-per-hour winds will happen on Wednesday afternoon into the Wednesday night, but there's definitely a possibility that some of those strong winds will mix down to the surface, and for that reason, and I'll get to the models in a moment, a high wind advisory, no doubt, will probably have to be issued. And don't be surprised to see some warnings and watches for thunderstorms coming up on Wednesday night, with temperatures in the middle 60s in some portions of our area. Let's take a look at the model analysis of that. This is the GFS, and the GFS is showing well over 2 inches of rain over a 3 or 4 or 5 hour period, and it's just going to come down in buckets here coming up on Wednesday. This is Wednesday 03 UTC, and this is actually, I'm sorry, that's probably Thursday 03 UTC, and you're really going to be looking at a lot of heavy rain. Flash flood watches, I would suspect, will go up tomorrow. We've got grounds that are still frozen, and even when they unfreeze, it's going to be saturated. You're talking 1.25 liquid here, 1 inch liquid, and this is over 6-7 hours. You're looking at a good inch and 3/4 of an inch, 1.75 to 2.75 inches coming up. Look for localized flooding and stream rises, and 70 knot jet is pretty impressive. 972 millibar low. Attached to that will be a very vigorous cold front. So folks, you have any plans on late in the day, Wednesday night, batten down the hatches. You got any loose items out there, you might want to bring them in. I'm almost positive we'll be seeing a high wind warning advisory and maybe some isolated severe thunderstorm warnings and watches, and definitely probably a flash flood watch. Before I move on and move out for the night, I wanted to go and give you some updates on some of our teleconnectors in terms of looking for the big snowstorm. I'm still searching. I'm not so sure we're going to see anything too promising, but we'll see what happens here. February 1st here, we're in the positive range, and we're moving toward positive, and we're going to stay positive. There's a few members here coming negative to -0.5, -1. We really need this to pan out if you really want to get that snowstorm along the East Coast. February 3rd, there seems to be a clipper. We'll see maybe it's feeling some of this negative portions of the NEO. It could be early, it could be just after. 136 hours away, GFS showing a 2 to 4 inch type of system with a clipper, zipper, if you would. We'll see how that goes. The PNA, which has been, besides the NEO, the PNA, which has been a thorn in our side, is showing neutral conditions, and then it goes positive, and then it goes negative. Neither one of these two teleconnectors have really been in our favor. The only one that's been in our favor, and which made this winter different than last year, is the AO, and the AO index is showing that it's going to go crashing down here. Most members are in the very negative. Even on this one member, I think you can disregard. You go down to -6. I don't see that happening, but clustered very much so in the -2 to -3 range. This would mean cold shots are coming, and in fact there was definitely one coming for Friday, and maybe a couple after that. So you have the cold air supply. Just need to see if our NEO can get negative here, and a couple of members want to get negative. So keep checking back. Don't give up on the winter yet. Maybe we can get that one significant 3 to 6 inch snowstorm or 6 inch snowstorm. Right now I'm not seeing the giant snowstorm that we all would like to be seeing, but we'll see what happens. The subtropical jet's getting a little bit more active, hence we're getting this 1 to 3 inch, well actually I would say 2 to 3 inch event coming up in very short order on Wednesday night and Thursday. And you've got concerns with all their streams. Be very wary of your streams coming up Wednesday into Thursday, and also be wary of the strong gusty winds and severe weather. This is Wild Weather for LiveWeatherBlogs.com. Everyone have a great night.